Hey folks, up for sale today, I've got a beautiful 1995 Land Rover Defender 110 3-door Tithonus. As you can see, this is an ex-military Ministry of Defense Defender. Now it is a UK import, as you can see from the British plates, but it was only in the UK for a few years. It was actually stationed overseas in a warm, dry, left-hand drive European country. So it's super clean underneath. The chassis is in great shape. The doors, the bulkhead, the footwells, all that stuff, very clean, very rust-free. So let me walk you around the vehicle. I'll show you the inside, the outside. We'll go underneath as well and take it for a test ride. Okay, so as you can see, it is painted in flat green, which is, I believe, NATO green. Good news is that it's super easy to repair. There's no clear coat on here, so if you do scratch it, you can literally just take a paint roller and paint it. Or you can use a sprayer and spray it so it looks a little nicer, but super easy to touch this up. We do have the super beefy heavy duty safety devices roll cage, and it's got all the little bits and pieces that go with it, all the covers and all the Velcro pieces as well. And it does come with the full insulation kit as well. So the insulation kit rolls down on the inside and the soft top rolls down on the outside. So it makes it nice and toasty in there in the wintertime. If you got the heat on. In the back here, we've got seating for 4. You can actually fit another set of benches back here to have 8 seats. But as it sits right now, there's only 4 in the back, and they do have seat belts, which is nice. Rubber floor mats in the back. There is a nice light there, an aftermarket light to light up the rear. And again, there's a good look at the insulation kit. All the straps, all the Velcro pieces are in place, which is nice. And it stays nice and tight when you're driving down the road. It doesn't really flap all over the place. In the back here, tailgate is in great shape. There's no dents. Well, there's a little tiny dent right there, but nothing from it slamming down on the hitch over and over again because the cables are in place. And we are missing the toolkit back here. There should be a shovel and a pick as well, but those can be sourced as a kit aftermarket. Rear cross member, there's only a slight bit of surface rust here on the exterior. And let me show you the chassis and the back side of the rear cross member. Fantastic shape. All right, there's the rear cross member. It's got a decent covering of wax oil, but as you can see, some of the wax oil has peeled off here, and you can see underneath it, that is factory paint there. This chassis is mint, let me tell you. All right, no welds or repairs have been done to this chassis. Super great shape, and as I said, we'll get underneath the vehicle later on in the video. Cappings are all in great shape as well. Ex-military Defenders have galvanized capping, so these will never rust on you. Corners are in pretty decent shape as well. Wheel flares also painted to match body. We do have a beautiful set of 16-inch Wolf steel wheels and the infamous Michelin XZLs. These are outstanding tires. You can bring the pressure down to like 10 psi, 5 psi, and get some great traction off-road. And they're great on the road as well. So we do have side storage cubbies for jerry cans on either side. And the doors are in fantastic shape as well. Only a tiny bit of exterior surface rust there, but the door bottoms are in great shape. And we'll move along here to the front of the vehicle. We do have some ex-military style antenna mounting plates, but there is no military equipment left on the vehicle. In the front here, pretty standard military front end. We do have the tow hitch point in the center, NATO green grill as well. Now originally it did have the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated diesel, which only had like 69 horsepower, give or take. So this is a 200 TDI out of a Discovery. You can tell because it's got the intake up top here. So the engine is super clean, as you can see, and you can even see some gold paint there still on the engine block. So this engine's in great shape, And I unfortunately don't have any documentation on it, but it's a super low mileage engine. You can actually see some gold paint down in there as well. Super clean motor, so we don't have oil dripping down the sides or anything like that. And it runs fantastic. We do, however, have some aftermarket type stuff that wasn't stock, like this intake pipe here. These oil cooler lines are hose clamped, and that does drip a little bit of oil, so this could be flared maybe later on so that the hose grips a little better, but it does drip a little bit of oil. We do have a remanufactured injection pump as well. And take a look at the footwells. I mean, those are in fantastic shape. I don't see any rust or any holes on the bulkhead. The bulkhead is in great shape. It's kind of hard with this roll cage piece here, but you can see, I mean, there's no rust there on the bulkhead at all. It's in great shape. All right, windscreen, pretty decent. The seal does have some cracking a little bit here, and it has been painted, but that's how they do these vehicles. They just spray the whole things, and then they'll just take a razor blade and scrape the paint off the windows. We do have full-size spare on the bonnet as well. A little bit of checker plating here on the bonnet and on the side wings. So bonnet's in pretty decent shape. Not too much rust at all there. On the interior, oh yeah, we do have these military style mirrors as well, which I like because they're a lot bigger than the civilian style. Also, doors. We do have the upper sections of the doors as well. They're just off right now because I really enjoy having everything wide open, and the breeze is fantastic. So those are off right now, but again, here's the passenger door. Great shape, no rust, no repairs needed. We do have this fantastic floor mat here. It's all one piece. It goes all the way over the tunnel and onto both sides of the footwells. And let's see if we can get a look. This is kind of glued up in there, but you can see the upper section of the footwells in great shape. Tiny little bit of surface rust right there, but super solid footwells. Seat boxes in great shape as well. We got an aftermarket set of seat covers. Now these are civilian style seats, which are a little more comfortable than the military style ones. And this is kind of like a super durable fabric that can be washed and power washed. And it's not waterproof though. They do absorb water, but they're super durable. We do have a center seat as well. They can be removed, and you can install a center cubby box here if you want. We do have, there's your light switch right there to turn the headlights on. I believe that is a oil pressure. No, what is that, voltage? Yeah, that's voltage. And we do have the vents up front. We got a map light right there. There is a radio in here, which is great, and a good set of speakers as well. So radio works great. And let's take you over to the driver's side. And again, here's a good look at the insulation up front. All the hooks are in place. All the Velcro straps are in place as well. So this insulation kit wraps around the seat belts. So it's going to be pretty decent for heating in the wintertime. All right, so we got 98,000 kilometers on here, which is about 60,000 miles, give or take. Low fuel light works. Fuel gauge works, temperature gauge works. I don't think the oil pressure gauge works. Glow plug light does come on. And she fires right up. This thing fires up within like a half a rotation of the engine, basically. And no serious vibrations at all. Runs super smooth. No blow by or back pressure. And no smoke out of the tailpipe. All right, so let's take a look underneath here. There's a look at the back side of the front axle. Bottom of the oil pan, there's a slight drip there on the bottom of the oil pan, but nothing serious. What we want to look at here are these outriggers. They are fantastic. No welds, no repairs, great shape. There's your front radius arms, front control arms, or whatever you want to call them. Bottom of the chassis, absolutely mint. Bottom of the battery box, great shape. Some rust proofing is flaking off here, but as you can see underneath, there's still some NATO green paint right there, so great shape. Here's the military style center outriggers, a little bit beefier. That's how you can kind of tell a military chassis from the civilian one. So a couple little upgrades, but again, there's some shiny factory paint there as well. And there's a look at the front side of the rear axle. I don't see anything dripping out of the pinion seal. All right. Okay, in the rear here, we do have rear disc brakes as well. The Salisbury rear axle. Now, it does look like there's a small leak out of the fill plug there, but that could just need to be tightened up. A-frame ball joint looks new. That's been replaced. Good shape. Do have a new exhaust as well. The muffler looks good. There's a look at the rear brakes. Springs in good shape. Fuel tank looks good as well. And here's a nice close look at the rear chassis. This is where they normally get all rusty, right here. Absolutely fantastic. So there's factory paint right there. Real good shape. Okay, so here we are on the passenger side. Same story. Chassis is great shape. Liberal coating of wax oil and mixed with a little bit of road dirt. So not spotless, but very rust free. No need for repairs or patches or anything like that. This chassis is in great shape. And also there is the center cross member as well. I don't see any dents there. So that means this vehicle wasn't abused off-road, which is good. Now we do have a slight leak coming out of the center diff. So it's not like pouring out, but there are a few drips here at the bottom. So that gasket could be replaced right there. Gearbox looks great though. I don't see anything leaking out of the gearbox. There's the bell housing as well. And the back side of the motor, pretty decent. And there's a little bit of residue here from where that oil cooler line is dripping. So you can see right there at the bump stop, there's a little bit of oil there. But that is pretty much it for leaks. All right, and here we are at the front of the vehicle. Here's a close look at the swivel seals on the driver's or passenger side. And steering, our tie rod ends look great. Ball joints all looking good. There's your steering drop arm. And there's the driver's side swivel seals as well. And here's a good look at the front of the motor. Looks pretty clean. And the front of the front axle and the fill plug looks like there's nothing dripping out of there. So pretty tidy under here. Front of the chassis as well. Super rust free. Pretty decent. This is another notoriously rusty area right here, and it is in fantastic shape. All right, so let's take her for a spin. She fires right up, no problemo. I'll take you through the gears, the braking, and the steering, and all that good stuff. And we got all the windows off, soft top rolled up, so it's a nice, beautiful breeze. There's first gear, second gear, third gear, there we go. So we can definitely tell that this has the 1.6 lower ratio transfer case. Because I'm in third gear right now. 45 kilometers an hour, fourth gear going uphill. So great for around town. Top speed on the highway is going to be 55, 60 miles an hour probably. So it's got a lot of good low end torque, but not a lot of high end top speed. But you can switch out the transfer case R3 or something with a higher ratio, needing more top speed. But as it sits right now, see, I'm accelerating in 4th gear at 35 miles an hour. So great around town, great off-road, great up and down hills and stuff, but you just don't have the top end speed of the higher end ratio. Alright, so here we are going uphill in 4th gear, no problem. We're going to downshift into 3rd gear. Accelerate. Shaking, no vibrating, no pulling to the right or left. Drop it into 2nd gear. And I'll show you reverse, which is in the R380 to the right and down. And the visibility out of the back is outstanding with the top down. Alright, so let's rip through the gears again. 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear. Temperature gauge is sitting right in the middle. The fuel gauge is working. No vibration in the